Okay, we're going back to doing a little bit. And I want to finish that because I couldn't yesterday because dude, I was getting... I had to do something and deal with... Is that a YouTuber? Whoa, there's... Wow. But right now I have to go... Oh yeah, what was I doing? I think I was going for Mango Club. No. What the... What? 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 Yeah, but no, as I was saying... one of the things, what I have to do... Boom. Cool, I love this game. But no, we are going to... I'm just going to do Legendary. I don't... Fix... My... Okay. Wait, let's say 50. Yeah, but we're going to watch it pretty much right now. Am I on my developer? Fig tree. Okay, I'm just going to start it. And it not let me.
Which was first obtained by Politico. In 2022, the 1630 fund spent $196 million.
Let me wait. I should probably talk about this. Basically, she found out dark money exists in these. And basically was kind of mad. It wasn't like something major. It was... And basically she talking about a company called Choir. Choir basically does a lot of major things. The big thing is that that a lot of streamers were part of it. I have a theory. I think, like, I need to watch. But I have a theory that basically she is kind of doing this because she knows that something major happening, or she is trying to put in more progressive voices as a way to kind of hide the fact that what the... Dude, imagine you're developers, and I'm like, yo, can we get the rune pet? Can we get a pet that could boost up the chances of getting runes off of normal mobs and boost up like the strength, but like super weak? Yeah, but no, basically all that, and then come on, one more. Come on, one more, and cool. And yep. But basically, that what this whole thing is about. And it's sort of like an important thing to talk about, but I think there's more to it. Look, if it's dark money, like I was talking about yesterday, was basically, yeah, like no one want like the radical. Yeah, no one want like a radical doing it, because here's the thing. Like, the issue I see with, like, Hassan, it's like, I'm sorry, but nobody wants, like, some person going in. Like I talked about this so much to people. Like, someone would ask him, well, why can't he? And I literally told someone, like, the issue with, like, Hassan Piker and all that. Oh, he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand the trap. I jumped. But the thing was, yeah, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, and then like basically I was talking to someone about that, and I literally said, like, the issue I see is, like, the people go in, they do this. Like, you don't want some guy going in saying all this stuff and then immediately being like, but guys, it like I talked about this because there's like one thing I sort of like to talk about. Like, the issue I see is people do that. They go in, they see that, and guess what happens? Oh, he didn't grab that. Dude, you know. I don't care. I won. But it's sort of the thing I have with people. I need 50 of these anyway, so I'm just going to go for what I need. But that's sort of the whole reason I have with this. If that... I'm done with my dogs. I'm sorry. And my dog barking. You wanna know why? They wanna go outside and they can't. They can't go outside. They're coyote. They're coyote outside. And I have to deal with this. And literally, there are other people outside. They don't want them out. But no, as I was saying. The issue I noticed, if like, I think there's some reason. I think if like, she's part of a group and they want money type deal, it would not surprise a guy. It would not. But also the other thing is, like some of the points, they're like, I listened to 1 second of Nick DiOrio and I kind of like his statement on it. So I'm going to use it. I saw one Twitter clip of his statement and I liked it. Which is like okay, Nick DiOrio basically like she would poison the well, and like, and I agree now. I agree with that statement because it was true. Like, there would definitely poison the well in there. But if like, I think she have to poison the well. I could hear my dogs. My dogs are spooky. They're hell. Like, I think she have to kind of poison the well in this. Because if she doesn't, it looks bad. It looks bad. Like, I'm sorry. But if you're like going in and your whole thing is like, I'm morally justified to, and people are like, and people thought were like, I think you could say that and literally be justified in your statement. Like, I'm sorry, but I oh no, wait, they're not the one. Okay. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, sorry I'm back. But no, I want to finish. Yeah, but that's... But no, as I was saying. Like, the thing is, and I like saying this. Like, I think it's just bad faith. You could just say it's bad faith with the... And that's sort of what I'm trying to say before I do this, because I'm sort of trying to get mythical before I start. I need one mythical. I need one mythical so I can... But I'm actually happy. Dude, I am so happy. And... Isn't it like 4K? Yeah, it should be 4K. Did they change? Yeah, but no. Okay, we're gonna play, huh? I think we got
$1 billion backing state ballot measures.
Imagine bringing your side project to life just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
I don't care.
A complete AI creation platform. Describe what you want and watch it take shape.
Care.
You can plan, customize, and expand in any direction. From tools built for one to platforms ready for many. From passion projects to enterprise-grade systems. Everything is built in and ready to launch.
It's a new world of creation, where you can go as far as your imagination takes you. Can you imagine it?
Let's make your dream a reality right now.
How long before I see results with Tai Chi?
Day 3, you'll feel your energy. Day 7, your eyes will change. Day 28, you will become unrecognizable.
3 reasons to start Tai Chi workout this summer. In 1 week, you'll see your energy. In 2 weeks, you'll feel your breath.
Okay.
In 3 weeks, you'll have energy, and your wife won't believe your results. Here is the personalized plan of short Tai Chi workouts tailored for beginners over 50. It takes just 7 minutes per day. Beginner friendly and requires no equipment. You can work out anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, but I
just
don't care.
Open the app and follow along.
I think it's funny you're playing this.
State ballot measures on abortion rights heading into the midterms, according to NBC. Just 4 donors accounted for close to 2/3 of the 1630 Fund's revenue in 2023 alone, according to its tax filing. The largest donor to the 1630 Fund gave the group $50.5 million, with others donating $31 million, $21.8 million, and $13.6 million. And the way the organization is set up, because it's a dark money group, we have no idea who these people are. We have no transparency on the organization itself or what goals these funders giving tens of millions of dollars want to achieve. Robert McGuire, the research director for the open government group Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, told Politico, quote, "Altogether, this is absolutely one of the largest fundraising machines I have ever come across. I am really struggling to think of any other group, especially recently, that could rival it." The 1630 Fund is powerful, and it's extremely intertwined with mainstream Democratic establishment politics. Chorus is described in contracts that I obtained as a project of the 1630 Fund. Dr. Stephen Buckley, a digital media sociologist, spoke to me for Wired. He told me that the type of program the 1630 Fund and Chorus are seeking to run has, quote, been happening in the right wing for ages. But Hyder said that the structure of the 1630 Fund and Chorus program raises the question, quote, is it ethical to match the tactics of your opponents? This sort of secret funding has been happening on the right for a while. Last fall, a federal indictment revealed that the Russian state-sponsored media network RT was secretly providing millions of dollars in funding to Tenet Media, a company working with major right-wing influencers, including Benny Johnson, Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, and Lauren Southern. In 2024, the National Republican Congressional Committee spent nearly $500,000 on work with Creator Grid Inc., an influencer marketing company whose website says it, quote, connects Republican candidates with the internet's most powerful conservative influencers. Democrats have long criticized the role of dark money groups in politics. Trump and the Republicans have repeatedly refused to openly disclose paid financial partnerships to the public. But now it seems like the Democrats are seeking to replicate this dubious system, but use it to push pro-Democrat messaging. And let me just be clear, I wouldn't have as much of a problem with some of this funding stuff if it was going to actual impactful progressive creators or journalists. I still think that the funding should be disclosed publicly, like undeniably. But there are so many struggling creators on the left that are producing highly impactful, culturally relevant, and urgent work on crucial issues that are struggling to get by. These independent creators are doing real accountability journalism on a shoestring budget. But that's not what creators in the 1630 Fund program are doing. They're not doing investigative journalism that could actually get laws changed. They're not exposing wrongdoing by the police or military. They're not revealing ICE surveillance networks or FOIAing the government for secret contracts, or really doing any sort of accountability work. Many of them are simply creating pro-Democrat slop that fundamentally does not challenge power, does not challenge capitalism, and ultimately does nothing to reform the barbaric system that got us here. And it makes sense that this is how the Democrats would structure this type of program, because the Democrats still fundamentally do not want to acknowledge the reality that their centrist policy agenda is widely unpopular. They seem to think that if they can just pay enough pro-DNC shills to push boring...
Dude, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this. Cope. This is literally cope. I'm sorry. This is, like, unironically, like, someone... That was the biggest cope thing I ever heard. Like, I'm sorry, but that literally is. If, like, I'm hearing... Oh, I want to check something. Should I get that? I need one main core, and then I basically become faster. Or should I aim for... Do I have enough for both of these? I need Vine Sap. I should probably aim for Vine Sap right now. But literally, it sound like cope. It sound like, oh, why are the people not picking the progressive? It's like, half the progressives are too... I'm sorry, I'm gonna say... Dude, I know a lot of progressives. There's a reason why nobody won. I want one more thing. I want to check one more. I want to check one more. I want that, baby. No, but as I was saying, I think the issue is, it sounds like she like, oh, I want, it like, but the issue is they're not picking progressive. It's like, yeah, obviously they're not. Like, nobody wants, like, a progressive to go in and be like, you know, God, you know what we need? Our own mega party. Like, I don't see any of them doing that. Because, one, it doesn't make sense. Like, nobody going in and being like, and I'm sorry for people who generally, but nobody want to, if like the people who want to be like, oh, what, but we need this. No. I'm actually, oh, wait, I should probably check something before I forget. I want to see what I can fuse with this. That makes babble. That makes babble. That makes minor. And that can make harpy. Which harpy I do need to get. I think the best is to keep this for like either a epic or rare pet. And like just aim for newts. But like that the one, but going back because I'm tired. And I want, oh cool, my chat wasn't active. But like, if like, here's the thing, no, like, I'm sorry, you're gonna hate what I'm about to say, but it's the best way to say it. I genuinely know a lot of people who say they're progressive. I wouldn't want them to talk about Democrats' ideology. Like, be sponsored. You wanna know why? Because if let's say it tailored lorenz, or one, or like let's say it's a good progressive. You know what would be annoying? Here's the thing. And this is the part that going to scare people. You're gonna hate this. You're gonna hate the audience. Here it is. Most people genuinely don't want a radical. Don't want, like, you don't want go overshooting. And not like, even with that, if like the one thing I have with this, if like, I wish I had more sweep. Like, they're genuinely, I can make that issue. I can make that point. That every time the people want to be like that, it's a straight answer. Nobody, if you're like going into politics, even locally, you don't want some guy on like issues that are wild. Even for even if you're like going for like one that you support, you know why you don't go for that? Here's the thing. Oh, that's actually cool. If like, hey guy, I'm gonna make them. Because, oh, it happens. Oh, guess what? Can you figure out what happens? Here's a hint. You just ruined your political career. In that 5 seconds, guess what happened? In those 5 seconds you went in, you did that? Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna go back. But that's generally the reason. You just don't want to, like, shotgun some. I need Starborn, which I don't know. Okay, that one I'm almost done with. Salt is a decent one. Apply a booster. Beacon knife. Kill 5 Brian. Wait, I do need to talk to you. Okay. But that's sort of the issue I have with this. It just, like, nobody, like, people see that and they're like, why should we care? Like, you're going in and doing all this, and genuinely, I'm not trying to be offensive. You, like, this is okay. Then you should have been like, here's the thing. It sound like cope. Gripper. Should I make one of these so I get to 6? Which, what's a seagull? Okay, got you. I'm gonna make one of these. Because I should have enough to make it. Really? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Okay, and then mango. I want to go for a shard. 1 shard. I would sell everything. Like, we basically sell the 2 least important things. Also, I just realized that if we get 64 of this, we could sell for huge profits, so we could actually keep going for the grind. Okay, and then not you. Grant 10 for every digit. But it's sort of the one thing I have with, like, but it's sort of the issue I have is that how they're doing it, I think it's gonna be way worse. Really? Okay, we're gonna do something. Normal. Figs or all that. Like, I think this is going to hurt her career at the end. And I think it already seen the after effect, pretty much. Ooh, wait. I think we're also going to see something way worse. I think she was starting her own nonprofit because, by the way, how that works, by the way, is she had a nonprofit. She most likely does, and then like, okay, but
content towing the party line, that will be the key to success. This strategy is bound to fail. It refuses to recognize the fundamentally decentralized nature of the online media landscape, and the Democrats are once again trying to dictate who gets a voice online. They want to control which creators are allowed into the movement, and they want to build these bottlenecks for access to lawmakers instead of making politicians more responsive and more accountable to the public. Programs like the one being run by Chorus and 1630 essentially seek to turn the very real and organic grassroots influencer ecosystem into a managed PR pipeline for centrist liberals. This is just replicating the same type of gatekeeping that's rampant in the mainstream media. And the result of all of this is subpar content that doesn't actually move the needle at all. Because the truth is that social media algorithms actually don't care if party insiders approve of certain messaging. What matters online is authenticity and relatability. And I just want to dig into this gatekeeper stuff just a little bit more because it seems to be such a consistent problem in the Democrat world. The Democrats spent months after their loss last fall bemoaning that there were no Democratic candidates or figures who could rally organic, widespread support, especially online. But when Zohran Mamdani built a massive grassroots movement that motivated hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers to vote and millions of young people to get more involved in the political system, Democrats sought to sideline him. Even today, Democratic establishment leaders have refused to rally behind Zohran and other left-wing, even slightly anti-establishment progressive online figures.
Do this to raise your credit score fast? Have you seen this guy before? The guy that says,
paying your bills on time raises your credit score, right? Wrong.
Well, you might want to listen to this. If you're one of the 153 million Americans with a credit score below 720, it's probably because you haven't seen this 5-minute credit trick. This makes scores pop in minutes. People who want to raise their credit score need to stop falling for these 3 major credit lies and use this.
The right-wing internet is chaotic, but ultimately the Republican media world isn't trying to build more.
Okay, I'm gonna say about the Zoe man. Dude, I'm gonna tell you, as someone who talks to a lot of different political views, the moderate don't like him. And that's what you have to aim for in the races. It's not the people who are right, it's the moderates. The more moderate you look, and all that. So like, to all the people who are like, oh, but he's a good candidate. He's a good candidate. He's a good candidate, William. He's a good candidate. I'm speaking off of what I know. And what I know is you don't want to look radical. And like the thing is, he was going into a Mayor Adam thing. He can't be Cuomo. He literally, okay, he beat Cuomo. Let me be clear about that. I can't say what I'm trying to say. Which is, he beat Cuomo. But right now, the thing is, I think he's generally going to lose. There's so many... Wait. Oh, speaking truth, yeah. Actually read his policies. Actually read it. Like, if you go on a policy 1-to-1 against him and most others, he genuinely loses. he genuinely lose to the California, he lose, like he would lose to Cuomo or Trump, if you genuinely want to know. And the only reason why I say that is because it's true. Like, I was listening to someone talk about them, like, praising him, like, I don't like him. They have why I'm like, you know what, like, I don't support his one bill that he put. And you know what? They're like, oh. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna put this into the sack. But like the thing is, if people want, man, don't. But like, just ask, generally ask someone who wants him. Do you want him? Have you read his policies, or do you want a socialist? Because, like, you look at his policies, they don't work, and it's just objectively true. Like, it's funny when, like, you talk about the policy of the guy, and you're like, yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah, I know. I want gold drag. The good news, kind of getting the dragon is on this would be technically easier than really a lot of others. And that's mainly because of booster assisting. And like the only thing we need like a bit's armor. But like literally men's only. I'm sorry, people who like him. But here's the thing on why you don't do that, because I could generally start making political ad about who he hang out with. And like the thing is, like, there's genuine thing you could call out. Yeah, I actually like Missile now. I wish... Okay, sorry, I'm putting the one thing. I wish First Impression was not a ultimate enchant. I wish Missile was. Because then if, like, you generally don't have to worry about one thing being set up. Secondly, I wish... Okay, I'm going to keep playing.
Gatekeepers or brokering access. And most importantly, they're willing to embrace content creators who don't always parrot the party line. And while this program might be the latest attempt, it's not the only one out there. As Teddy Schleifer recently reported in the New York Times, quote, at donor retreats and in pitch documents, liberal strategists are pushing the party's rich backers to reopen their wallets for a cavalcade of projects to help Democrats find the next Joe Rogan. The proposals are meant to energize glum donors and persuade them that they can compete culturally with President Trump if only they throw enough money at the problem. In addition to Chorus, there's And Media, which stands for Achieve Narrative Dominance. And Media was founded last November by Marissa McBride, a Democratic strategist who leads a donor group called Mind the Gap, and a slew of other establishment Dems who met at the headquarters of American Bridge, one of the largest Democratic donor networks. These Democrats want to run And Media as a for-profit company, and they're trying to raise $45 million over the next 4 years. They've already raised $7 million, and their business plan claims that And Media will directly fund influencers and help produce their content. And Media also wants to build a liberal creator talent agency and make deals with flagship creators. Another Democrat influencer media effort is called Project Bullhorn, which will supposedly pool money together in order to back creator projects. As Teddy reported in the New York Times, quote, the money is running through Jason Birkenfeld, who has advised the political giving of Eric Schmidt, the billionaire former chief Google executive, and others. Mr. Birkenfeld pitched the project to major Democratic contributors at a briefing featuring Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey. Project Bullhorn is seeking to raise $35 million in its first year, and
Not
it
the
plans
worst
to
one.
raise a fund specifically to back...
By the way, you know what she won't talk? I want to see if she talks about that. There one I saw, which is like the Vote or Democrat group. But you know what she did not talking about? The Dean Withers one. Because Dean, by the way, for people who are not aware, Dean Withers is part of one too. And it's just funny to tell people that because they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he is. Look, he literally is being paid." But also, here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. I'm going to tell people, and this is something like people should know. Ooh, we're fine. What? Do I have enough? Oh, I only need 4 more. I only need 4 more vine saps. Oh man, I'm actually happy because that means I could do one grind a little bit quicker. Okay. Sorry, I'm just so excited because four. Okay, we'll keep
left-leaning content creators on YouTube. They also want to create a matchmaking service to book liberal content creators on YouTube shows and podcasts. Because these people are definitely also capitalism-pilled, they of course want to run these things like a business. Project Bullhorn plans to include a for-profit arm that will, quote, have the potential to reap significant returns, according to a pitch deck obtained by the New York Times. Another program called Double Tap Democracy was recently started by Rachel Irwin, who led a $30 million influencer program last cycle for Future Forward, the biggest centrist Democrat super PAC. Double Tap Democracy is already working with at least 2,000 influencers who have smaller followings to push Democrat messaging. And Rob Flaherty, the top official behind Kamala Harris's 2024 campaign influencer strategy, who also oversaw Biden's White House digital team, is also apparently seeking to raise money for a new for-profit company called Channel Zero, which will boost Democrat messaging. Channel Zero will allegedly provide back-office services to content creators who already have large followings, according to the New York Times. Rob Flaherty is also advising Project Echo, a new 4-year, $52 million influencer program from the liberal nonprofit group People for the American Way. People for the American Way is spending about $10 million of its own money and pitching donors on the rest, according to its president. I also got leaked documents about another high-profile project from the Democrats that has not been announced yet. I'm planning to report all of that out in the future, so please subscribe to my Patreon to support my work. It's linked below. The Democrats are extremely unpopular right now. According to a new Wall Street Journal poll, 63% of voters hold an unfavorable view of the Democratic Party. The party's popularity is at its lowest point in decades. only 33% of voters have a favorable view of Democrats, and just 8% of people, again, 8%, that is so low, have a very favorable opinion of Democrats. Meanwhile, the Democrats have a net negative favorability rating of 30 percentage points.
Okay.
One of the researchers who conducted this latest round of polling told Politico, quote, "The Democratic brand is so bad that they don't have the credibility to be a critic of Trump or the Republican Party. Until they reconnect with real voters and working people on who they're for and what their economic message is, they're going to have problems."
Hey everyone, big heads up, Paleo Valley's running a sale on all their meat sticks right now. You can get 30 sticks for $36, which comes out to $1.20 per stick. But before you go and stock up, first, here's why these are the fastest growing meat sticks on the market and a staple in our house. Number one is the quality. The beef sticks are made with 100% grass-fed beef. The venison is also 100% grass-fed. The chicken sticks are made with actually pasture-raised chicken as opposed to free-range, which essentially means nothing. And the maple bacon pork sticks are made with legit pasture-raised pork. So that means more nutrient-dense meat and no antibiotics. Number two, there are no seed oils. Most other sticks are made with a preservative called encapsulated citric acid, which contains seed oils, which our family just doesn't eat. Instead, Paleo Valley naturally ferments them, which is a much longer process, but makes for a gut-friendly, seed oil-free stick. Number three, they're delicious. Check out all these flavors. In the beef, we've got original, there's jalapeno, teriyaki.
Don't care.
Donald Trump sucks, okay? He is a fascist who's currently dismantling civil liberties and enacting draconian immigration restrictions among so many other atrocities. But Democrats continue to bolster centrist politicians and influencers who treat Trump as some unique threat and not a symptom of our broken system. The Democrats performatively resist Trump while voting for his policies and partnering with the Republicans on censorship laws like...
You know what? Like, I'm sorry, but I want my Congress people to be neutral and not care about politics. Like, if you genuinely want to like talk about the big issue is we're not all chill dudes who like are willing to, and this is like the general issue I have with the video. Like, you poison the well so much, why should I listen to you? Like, you talk about Republican and Democrat, why should I care? I'm sad because this literally doesn't provide anything, and that doesn't either. Unless like to provide me like one of the best pets. Like, generally, why should I even listen to you? Because you're not like providing anything meaningful. Like, you poison the well so much. It's generally shocking that you can make the Trump argument now. Like, genuinely, I'm giving him Vi Taylor. I'm not even giving him journalist advice. Most people generally don't like it when you poison the well. Hold on 1 second. Cool, I got that, and then after that, gloves are next. Do I have? How much enchanted seed limit do I have? Do I have like? I have 1. 96 for the 5. And then like, this is the other one I need, and I need sturdy bone. I have that. Do I have medium? No, I have basic. I need to get the 8 flex bones, which I know where to get that. I can get the 8 because I need like, and then all that. But generally my one complaint is, like, you poison the well. And generally, like, I generally don't think it's a good video. I generally think you could have made it a lot more quicker and be like, yeah, this is what I found. Democrat made a little bit of an oopsie, guys. They actually made a dark money. But if like it's that, and if like some of it, like, I know what happened. Like, okay, she talked about the Hassan Piker getting banned from the hit of, like, basically the big event. But you know what she doesn't talk about? She doesn't even talk about, and this is where I'm sort of my irritation occurring. She doesn't even talk about the bigger issue, which was and I'm getting a little bit irritated. Six. Okay, cool. I got 6 of these. Before doing that, let's go up here. I already have fast travel. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're making this argument and I can come out and say that's not even true, all that. So, no. Defender. Intelligent. Yeah, let's just go. And then right now, I'm going to switch on what I'm going to do. Where is it? Where's my boy? Okay, we're going to put you here, and then we are going to, where am I? Let me sell some things before I do. Like, I'm sorry, I'm bringing up this. Like, why should I even believe you? Like, the argument you're saying is that all this was happening, but here's the big issue I have. Okay, and I'm checking one more thing before I forget. How many do I need? 87. We're getting 87 of these. I want to basically end
the TikTok ban or the Kids Online Safety Act, and sending billions of dollars to Israel to facilitate a genocide. If the Democrats really want to become relevant again, dumping tens of millions of dollars into these secretive influencer programs isn't going to do it. The party needs to stop catering to billionaires and putting the interests of their mega rich donors over hard-working people. They need to stop doing things like throwing disabled people or trans people under the bus and kissing up to far-right fascists. Instead of blowing millions of dollars.
And that's why you guys, like you and Hassan, will not be allowed to go there. And you want to know why? Because you say that, and guess what? It's the same reason. I'll tell you why you or Hassan wasn't allowed to. Get back in here. Get in. Uh-oh. Like, do you generally think, like, sorry, if I were the guy who was planning, I'm not gonna put you because you're going in and saying that. You know what my thought would be? You're a bit too radical for my taste. Okay, and then I want to check something before I forget. I want to see what it provides. I could. What's this box? Boom, boom. Okay, nothing. Chills. Basil. Wither. Chills again. If like generally if like it's a dumb thing, I'm sorry, is it me complaining? I need 85 for that. 85 and then 95. But the same argument to make, like, once you're there, if like, why are you even making that argument? Come on, give me 10. Yeah. I just want to get the lot I need for like, sorry, this is actually a general complaint I have. Like, genuinely, here's the issue I have with this. People are gonna hate me. People are gonna... Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're going into okay, I want to see how many I have. 35, I'm just going.
Funding lame pro-Democrat centrists online who ultimately have no cultural impact and only exist to feed a steady stream of chum to blue MAGA MSNBC moms. These organizations should put that money towards backing labor reporters, climate investigators, housing organizers, tech accountability advocates, border correspondents, on-the-ground documentarians, all of whom already command enormous trust among their communities. They should look for influencers who are doing things like scrutinizing the police, uncovering scams and fraud, documenting city council meetings, and making real change. They should fund creators who scrutinize power at all levels and attack billionaires. They should put money towards the unglamorous stuff that creates real change. They should pay for journalists' research help, FOIA fees, legal defense, pay for editors and producers, and cross-platform distribution for this sort of work. And they should distribute this funding through transparent, no-strings-attached grants and contracts with explicit editorial independence clauses. The Democrats should ban these ridiculous non-disclosures around political funding and insist on radical transparency. Maybe if they can do all of that, or at least some of it, they'll be able to rebuild some modicum of credibility. In the meantime, we all need to start asking hard questions of influencers pushing political messaging. We should not be platforming people who are not open and honest about where their money is coming from. Unlike a lot of these influencers, I'm not getting tens of thousands of dollars in secret Democrat slush money. My work is supported by you, and every single dollar helps. Support my work on Patreon via...
Yeah, okay, that's an ad read. But you are. I'm sorry, but scrutinizing and all that. Here's the issue. This is the issue I generally have with people like her. Right. Like she generally is, and like the thing is, they're like questions. They're question I want to generally have people ask. How many do I need? Okay, wait. How many do I need from this? 85, cool. Like, it's genuinely the same issue I'm having, which is the people want to talk about this, but guess what? If like, yeah, you want to talk about it, cool. Or why is it? Why is it? Why is it like this whole thing, when you look at it, I'm gonna double check chills, by the way, also. Once I get like a decent amount, because there's one pet, which is like, I think I need a skeleton. But it's generally the same issue I'm having. Which is, like, the short explanation is, how many do I... Like, okay. Like, the big issue I have is, why is that? If like we could talk about it, we could. Well, I don't have anything into. Like, my theory is like, she kind of knows that she can't talk about it. We're going here. I don't. It's the same reason why. What's down here? Like that. It basically, there are a lot of questions I generally want to ask. Sorry, I wanted max. I wanted to max that. But it's generally that. It generally, why is it? Guy, why is it like all the people? Okay, I'm gonna put on the weaker form. If like, I was looking at this and I'm like, my first thought was, hey, this video would kind of cringe. It was. I should probably put that there so I could see. We only need 5. I want to check one thing, and it's good to have like a. Okay, one more. And I'm out. Like, it's the same issue I have with, like, people who want to be like this. Because, like, this issue applies. Like, no one wants a radical going in, basically being like Hassan Piker. Let's be clear. How about you? How about you and... Should I get a beef basil? But like the same argument, like the issue I see is you go in and do all that, everyone calls you out. I want uncommon minimum. It's a dumb thing, and I feel irritated. There should be is that the one? Or because I thought there would a call out. No, I don't want to expose dark money. David Pac-Man. I don't know who he is. Did 8 minutes. I could do this.
All right,
You know what? I'm not giving the Hypixel treatment. I'm not. Where we basically do 5 birthday. We're actually just going to peer watch this. Oh. What is the best thing to sell with the bones? The 2 bones, and then the clownfish, and then the 2 enchanted flame rose. But the thing is, I want to see the blue. I actually want.
Not even going to talk about this because I hate participating in the drama. I hate the circular firing squad that often builds on the left. But it's really important that my audience know what's going on, so I am going to talk about it. I was named in an article in Wired yesterday, and the article is about a so-called dark money group on the left called Chorus. And I'm named in the article along with other creators as being part of the group. And since this article came out, I've heard from a bunch of you. David, did you sell out? David is the DNC telling you what to say. How could you do this to us? I knew back in 2021 when you had the following to say that you must have been getting paid by someone, and here's the proof. And I was not even going to give this the time of day, but my relationship with you, my actual audience, is the most important thing. And so I decided to do this segment. I also was told that other creators, like a Twitch streamer named Hassan Piker, we're covering this
no one cares about
in ways that don't reflect the reality of the situation and are perpetuating falsehoods about what is and isn't going on. Now, I can't speak to the motives of the people that wrote the article or those that are reacting to it. I can't get in their heads. All I can do is tell you what's going on.
Okay,
and then you can judge and you can make an assessment of me. Now, I also want to mention, I'm aware that many of the people I'm hearing of aren't even part of my audience. They're doing the, well, now I'm unsubscribing, and they mostly were never subscribed. And so I'm aware of that, but it doesn't matter because I want to make sure my audience hears from me about this. Now, the most important thing to say is that the idea behind this group is exactly what I've been advocating for years. For years I've been saying the left needs to organize independent media in the way that the right has been doing. The left needs to fund independent creators the way that the right does. The right has won even arguably presidential elections because they're organized with regard to online and independent media. They're killing us. We've been so behind. And this kind of support for creators is exactly what I've been advocating for. Now, the article is riddled with inaccuracies, and they're not minor inaccuracies. First and foremost, this group has nothing to do with the DNC. People writing saying, the Democratic Party is telling people what to say. At its base, the group has nothing to do with the DNC, period. Number two, I do not get clearance for anything I say. I do not run interview questions by anyone at Chorus. I don't tell Chorus when I'm going to be doing an interview. Not a single segment I have done, not a single question I've ever asked a guest has anything to do with Chorus. They don't tell me what to talk about. They don't tell me who to interview. They don't tell me how to cover a story. There are no restrictions of any kind on my content.
I think he should at least like provide the contract. But also here's the thing, and this is big. No one likes Taylor Lorenz, so I think he could get away with this. Like, no one going in and being like, you know what? I support Taylor. No, everyone no one supports her. Okay, let me put this on.
I've never covered a story because Chorus suggested I do it. I've never not covered a story because Chorus suggested I not do it. There is no content relationship of any kind.
My work is easy because I use...
Oh, no, I will say that it doesn't... Okay, I'm going to put one pushback. Fair pushback. We don't know. You could. We don't know, in your words. There's no area. 2, even if you're being paid by a group, you're going to like do things that can kind of support it. It's the same reason why when people want to go with like one ABC, they're going to be pushing a little farther that way or this way. And just because they're like, they generally are going in and they're like, well, I thought we could talk about this. You don't know. Like, if they're being put into like company A and they're going to talk a little bit more company A and be more positive because they're getting paid. And when you don't, even with company like Fox, we could talk Tucker Carlson. Actually a really good example of this. When you talk bad about it, you get the pushback, which is you get fired. And that's what I'm basically saying.
Use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need to get done in a list view. Next.
So what does Chorus do? They run technical trainings, how to produce content, how to make your operation more efficient. How do you take a small shop of 1, 2, or 3 people and put content out on multiple platforms the way I've been doing successfully for decades? They set up mentorship relationships between larger creators like me and small up-and-coming creators who are looking to do content, which is something I've said for years we need to be doing. They do advocacy trainings. They do media trainings. How do you deal with adversarial media, reporters with bad intentions who contact you? They do legal training, so we understand how is the right-wing machine potentially going to come after us? How do you organize your business to be protected? That's what they do. And I want...
They're probably a bit more. They might guess also. I'm going to make a guess. They probably also run optics runs. Which, if you don't know what that is, it basically, I call that, I don't know what people call it, but an optic run, it basically you go in and your whole thing is you are going to run a clean ship. You don't, like, this is a good example. You don't want to be a hood song piker. You don't want to be clip out of context into this bad degree that makes the party look bad. And now you may say, but that like relation, but what about that? That's not bad. The whole point is basically I want piranha. But that's basically the whole point, like, to make sure that they don't make their own ideology look bad. It's the same reason why I want to see how many I need more of. Okay, we're going to keep watching this.
I want to make this really clear, and I know that 99% of my actual audience knows this. If this was a group or an organization that required me to get permission before saying things, or fed me talking points, or told me, David, talk about this and not about that, or anything like that, I would never be part of it, period. Anyone who knows me would know that. Now, I'm one of the larger creators in the current cohort. I want to help others grow. I want to mentor people. I want to grow the left media space. That's something I've been advocating for years. And now the circular firing squad is getting going. You look at TikTok, you look at these different platforms, people going after each other, most of it based on misunderstandings or misreporting about what's happening. Now, let me go to another aspect of this. I've seen messages like, oh, David, when you said X in 2024, that must have been because they told you to. Oh, David, this explains your take on Bolivia from 2017. Now I get why you said that. Or when you did that interview in 2022, it must have been because Chorus told you to. Even if you wrongly believed that I was now completely compromised by my participation in this group, this thing is brand new. It's like 8 weeks old or something like that. Maybe 10 weeks old, something like this.
You should provide an email.
The revisionism of going back and going, now I understand why David. Not only are they not directing content today, this thing is brand new. So that's just like impossible. One other thing I want to mention. The article identifies my friend Brian Tyler Cohen as the co-founder of this group. And now he's being attacked as well. His motives being impugned. Brian worked on this as a volunteer. He has spent hundreds of hours for not a penny on this project, solely because he, like me, believes we need this type of organization on the left. They're killing us on the right. He doesn't need to be doing this for himself. He's trying to do this to build up left-wing content creators, as am I. And so the framing of Brian as some kind of villain in this entire thing, it's just farcical and pathetic. So the bottom line is, we need more of this on the left, not less. We need more organization and infrastructure and people understanding, how do you build a content machine? How do you produce a podcast? How do you grow an audience? How do you distribute it? How do you organize your day? What's your YouTube setup like? The article is designed to attack and degrade. I can't speak to the motives of the people behind it, so I won't even speculate. My involvement is as I've described it here. There's nothing more and there's nothing less. It's up to you to decide whether you trust a particular creator. It's up to you to decide what sort of structural organization the left should pursue. But what I can tell you is that the circular firing squad is how the left loses, when we start turning each other over what at the end of the day. So I'm sick of the losing. I'm trying to win. Join me if you also are trying to win. And then maybe we can have some better outcomes in future elections.
When I started using this Navy SEAL muscle device, my friends laughed at me. But when only 30 days later my beer gut had almost disappeared, they shut up.
This new Special Forces device turns men into beasts. It burns calories on autopilot by emulating 10,000 crunches in 10 minutes, melting belly fat without rigorous diets or lengthy workouts. It's called Tactical X-Abs, and it was created by a former Army officer and a bioengineer, Captain James Snipes. His invention took the military by storm and became a game changer for the Special Forces, boosting their strength and endurance like never before. And now it's helping thousands of people around the world burn belly fat and get in shape quickly. The story began when James was badly injured during a critical mission in the Middle East. After spending 3 months recovering in the hospital, he realized his body had weakened and he wouldn't have enough time to get back in shape for the next mission. That's when James remembered what he learned in the Army about using electric muscle stimulation and had a desperate idea. Using the EIMD phenomenon that powers all the muscle tissue growth in a human's body.
Okay, that basically. Oh, I'm gonna check one more thing before I end. I have enough for the 8 I need for the challenge rod, but not the exact amount. But the thing is, I'll say like that, we don't have evidence for a lot of this stuff. Like, I'll say that I'll do this fishing and then I'll end. But I think generally you could say that literally it doesn't kind of matter. Like, because the whole thing will like, ooh, this is all that. But here's the thing. And it's gonna sound a little dark, but it worked. We don't know because there have to be things. We only know that they were paid, but we also... But we don't know. We don't know that. We only know that information. But like... Oh cool, I got one more rabbit. And I got a duplicate. I'll fish one more time, and then when we get a fish, or a thing I could, or one creature, we'll go. And then we'll probably do the next time. Mainly one. What's on? There's one thing I want to check. What do I need for you to be upgraded one more time? A scudder shell. I don't have one of those. Well, time to do more Lorenz grind. So then, because all I need is the 3K more to upgrade this to this finally, get more speed, and then get the final couple. Get the 4 that I need, which I should have. How many do I have? I don't even have enough for that. But we keep going. There one. But we basically go for that, and I'm going. I think right now with my treasure trap being 5.6, we basically survive. We do all that, and I basically can end stream probably next Friday because of the new update. We can go for that, but we're definitely probably gonna go fishing and not do a lot of foraging this week, just so I can slowly start getting the bestiary up. And like Slash also, like, we can get this, but with that I'm ending